to your internet.
Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home.
And I'm Ray from Add the Oomph.
And we're here tonight
We're going to add some oomph to our Christmas party.
Woo! I'm going to start with showing you two really yummy, easy ways to make asparagus.
And I'm going to show you how 5 tips of how you can add oomph to your Christmas party.
So, we're going to get started, and I hope I don't bore all the Add the Oomph people. Maybe there's some cooking.
No, they do love cooking.
Okay, all right.
Because, hello, my biggest watched video, do what?
You just need to just get over.
Oh, okay.
Oh. We're running 2 cameras, if you're wondering. So we're getting a little direction from my main key grip, Tanner, here. So we might get interrupted and have to start and stop and all that good stuff. But it's live, and you know it's live that way.
Yeah. So we have Brooke's daughter here that behind the scenes kind of help and facilitate with questions and stuff like that. So she's given us some direction. She's our director and question coordinator and going to be cameraman. 2 cameras at one time in a little bit.
I know. So we'll see how well that plays out.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get started, but before we start, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about asparagus. Most times you can buy asparagus in the bunch, just like this. Now, I buy mine at the big box store, and it comes in a bag, but I save these handy-dandy little rubber bands so that when I buy a large quantity, I can use these because these actually have a purpose. So, my little cooking tip is you don't want to cook the whole asparagus because these woody ends right here, they're not good, and they're not good cooked either. So, this, where the rubber band lies, is a good place to indicate where you need to cut the asparagus. So if you're buying it in large quantity, like I do sometimes, another easy way to determine where you need to cut your asparagus is to simply hold it and it'll snap right where the woody end will come off. So there's no cutting necessary, and you have the best part of the asparagus then. Now, what I want to show you here is the difference, and I'll get a little closer so everybody can see, in the raw asparagus and just simply the blanched asparagus. You'll see how pretty and bright green that is. Y'all, that takes literally 2 minutes to get that, and then it already kind of cooks it for you. So the other advantage to the rubber bands is if you have a pot of boiling hot water, you just drop this in all together and let it just sit in the boiling water, and this is to call blanching it, for 1 minute. Take it out and then put it in an ice bath for another minute, and then you're left with these beautiful bright green, pretty much ready to eat asparagus. Now I roast them, and the 2 ways that I'm going to show you how to roast them tonight make them even better. So I'm going to move my camera now, and we're going to get started because we got lots to do tonight.
So I have never blanched asparagus in my life.
Well, I do it for this just simply because it makes a prettier presentation. So you know, being all in the presentation business might want to do that. All right. Well, first of all, we have, and Ryan, if you want your people to see, you might need to
come over here and adjust my camera.
Yeah, and I'm going to tilt mine down just a little bit more. And guys, if you have any questions, as always, just put them in the comments. If I can't get to them tonight, or Rayanne can't get to them tonight, we'll answer them as soon as we're done. You might want to tilt. Can you tilt it a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that good?
All right. So you see, I have some bacon here, and what I've done is I've cut it kind of in half. Now, bacon is stretchy, so this allows you to stretch your bacon dollar as well by cutting it in half. And so easy, I just take a bundle of 2 asparagus and 1 little half piece, and you don't have to use toothpicks for this either. So I just fold it over the top, and then, like I said, it's stretchy. I just take it and roll it over. And you're gonna want the inside down. Now I'm gonna do one more of these for you. My key grip is over here adjusting my camera. And that's Millie you hear in the background, and you can put her down. So again, we just wrap it over. You just want to like gift wrap it like a little present with ribbon on it. So there's those, really simple and easy. And then the second pan I have are for puff pastry. And now both pans I'm using, I have lightly sprayed with a little cooking oil. And I have just bought a $2.50 pack, 2-pack of puff pastry because I like doing a lot of things, but around Christmas I don't have time to do a lot of things. So I take the easy way out and I buy the puff pastry already done. And what you're gonna do is you're going to roll it out just a little bit, get it a little thin, and then I just take a pizza cutter and cut little thin strips. Can you see that what I'm doing? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the same way, I take that strip and I make a little, wrap it the same way you do the bacon. It's going to cover a little more surface area. And if you wanted to add a little oomph to that, you could take it and you could twist it. And then once you have it twisted, then you could wrap it if it'll stay twisted. Either way, it's not going to matter. And then you're just going to have them just like that. Now, I take a little bit of whipped egg wash and just paint it over the top. This will give it a beautiful glossy sheen. And it also kind of just adds a little flavor to it. And then what I like to do with these to give them a little bit more flavor is I take a little Parmesan cheese and sprinkle on the top and a little cracked black pepper. Now you can totally serve these with the same dip that I made last week for the sausage balls. That was 2 parts mayonnaise to 1 part Dijon mustard, and they dip really well. So both of these go into a 400-degree oven. The puff pastry for 15 minutes and the bacon wrapped asparagus goes in for 30 minutes and gets good and crispy. So you can totally cook them at the same time. Just one comes out about 15 minutes before the other. So now, while I finish these up, Rayanne is going to show you how to make all this look absolutely fabulous. And we're going to adjust everything here, so bear with us. Because we've got 2 cameras.
Hey y'all, so Tanner's gonna help us out, and she's gonna try to do dual cameras, so that way y'all can kind of see what we're going on. So we're gonna flip our cameras around. Okay, you got it? Mm-hmm. How's it going? All right, can you see me good?
Yeah.
I'm not used to this. It's more of a, I can see myself, so it's kind of different. Okay, so if you follow Brooke, you know that she talks a lot about their Christmas they do every year. And for their family Christmas, they do heavy hors d'oeuvres. So we thought it would be fun to show you some ways that you can kind of add some oomph to your holiday party, Christmas party, whether it's something at work or like them, they have a big heavy hors d'oeuvre. So I've got 5 tips for y'all. Tip number 1 is levels. So what I mean by levels is make sure it really just adds something to it when everything is at different heights, different levels, and nothing is just laying flat on the table. And so you can see a couple ways that I've done this here is I just started with this piece, and then so I wanted to do something in the back, and so I've added this right here. Then here, to get this level, here I'll show you, here's some of my secret tricks of the trade. This is literally just the cookie box that we've flipped upside down and covered it with fabric, as opposed to it just laying flat on the table. Then over here, we've just taken, instead of this being flat, we've just taken just another dish and turned it upside down. And then we've used this galvanized pail to, instead of this just setting flat here, we just kind of set it like that. So making sure you've got a lot of different heights and different levels is really important. Tip number 2 is a great way that you can add just some things, bringing the outdoors in, is using different plants or clippings. I know if you've been following my 12 Oomph Days of Christmas, we've talked a lot about different cedar clippings and different things that you can get outside. And the great thing about it is it's really inexpensive. So here at this, on this area, I just took, this is that Leland cypress that I have a ton of, and I just clipped it and put it in a really pretty just picture. It just adds a nice touch here. And then on this side, this is, I called this one my kind of a European thing. I just got this from Home Depot for 10 bucks. It's just like a little rosemary Christmas tree. And instead of leaving it in that awful pot they had it in, this is actually just like a utensil dispenser that I got from Home Goods. And so I just replanted it in there. So for 10 bucks, I think it adds a little, just a nice little pop of greenery as opposed to, you know, a big centerpiece or something like that. So then for tip number 3 is using different fabrics. So if you go to the, if you go somewhere like Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Ross, most of the stuff that you're going to find there as far as tablecloths are not going to fit your table. And they're going to be way too small, way too short. And so instead of using that, what I like to do, especially if you're blessed like Brooke and have a fantastic kitchen table, you don't have to cover the whole thing. You can just use some fabric. This right here is just cheesecloth. And I got this at Joann's Fabric for just a couple bucks. It is not in the fabric part where like the bolts of fabric are. It's more kind of in the middle section where the craft is. And just for a few bucks, I thought this is just really fun. And instead of covering the whole table, you can just open it up and kind of drape it. I love the gauziness of it, and I love the price of it. So, and then over here, I'm in love with Christmas plaid. And this is actually a throw that I got from TJ Maxx. So instead, you could totally just get some fabric like this, but then you're going to have to worry about the edges. And I don't sew. I don't blanch vegetables, and I don't sew. So this was, it was a little splurge. It was 25 bucks, but I absolutely loved it, and I think it looks really fun on this table. So just know that you can add just some extra color and extra textures with different fabrics or something like a throw. So tip number 4 is you can fake it when you need to. So here's I really wanted to use this galvanized tin. I love the old patina of it, and I obviously didn't want to fill it this full of crackers. So
those crackers are really good.
They are really good. What are they? They're Italian herb. We'll have to tell everybody. But Tanner, if you'll come in, we'll show them. This is all the crackers I had. So we wanted it to look good. So we took the pot that the rosemary tree was actually planted in and placed it in there so that it works, right? So faking it is totally acceptable. And we'll come over here and we faked it on this side too. This one's going to be a little harder to show you, but these are, we didn't want to fill this full of, obviously, who's going to eat that many olives? And so we did the same thing. There's a little small bowl that sits right down inside there that we use to kind of hold those. So that's number 4, is you can fake it when you need to. And then tip number 5 is probably, I don't know, this between different levels, and this one would be my biggest tip. And that is, you don't have to use, it doesn't have to be all plates and bowls and platters. Use things that are unexpected. So some things that we used here that are kind of unexpected. Obviously, that was kind of neat. But these are another one. These are actually little planters that I got in the garden section of Home Depot. But I love the writing on them. I love the black and white. So that's really cute. This right here is just a wooden box, so it's great for just building up, bringing different levels, and adding height. And then of course over here for our unexpected items, we have galvanized pails that we have used to hold this and then to add some different levels here. So I hope that helps, and I can't wait to dig in. And so Brooke, if you'll come and join us and show them your finished product, and I'm so excited to eat some of this good stuff.
Well, probably the best tip that I can give you is to have a friend like Ray. Because I cook, I'm not crafty, so we kind of complement one another. So find you a good buddy who is talented like this and who can help you with things like this, because I have not creative bone in my body.
Well, you can blanch all the vegetables and I'll decorate.
You'll decorate. I think we make a good team.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so Tanner, if you'll come over here, we'll show you the finished product. Here are our bacon wrapped bundles, and you'll see that the bacon adhered, really well to itself. So it's all one good little package. And these are my favorite, the puff pastry. I mean, that's gorgeous. That looks like that was done by a professional catering company.
It looks fantastic.
And it's gonna taste even better too. It's got just enough of that little melted cheese on it. It's salty, and then the cracked black pepper too adds a little pop to your to the asparagus. And you can totally serve them with that dipping sauce, or you can leave them be. You doesn't have to have it. That's the great thing about it. So this is our holiday party. And as you can see, it's after 8 o'clock. We have a lot of food to eat. So, there's kind of a trade-off. We have to put all this together, and we've been working for a while. Rayanne's been working for a while. I've been cooking. But now somebody's got to eat it. So
I think your husband will, I think he'll be able to put a little dent in it.
he's been kind of quiet from the buttered recliner tonight.
The buttered recliner.
Yeah. So y'all, I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have. Rayanne and I always have a really good time together. So I've been like chomping at the bit all month to get her here to do this. So if you haven't already, be sure to hop over to her page. There's a link in the title to her page, and like her page, and she has given how many days of 12 days of Oomph?
Today's the night.
Today's the night. So you've got 8 other videos that you can watch over there where she gives you some really good information on how to decorate and do other things for the Christmas season. So we're really glad you came. Thank you so much.
And to all my people, make sure that you click on the Buttered Home and follow Brooke. She does Messy Kitchen Monday, where she invites you into her kitchen every Monday night at 8 o'clock and shows you some great tips for things that you can cook. And pretty much, I think most of it's fairly easy.
Yeah, it's easy. And I do a lot of scratch-made stuff too, so don't let this fool you.
Thank y'all, and we are going to dig in.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh yeah, we gotta go turn it off.